Hi.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to the show.
In the background is Motorcycle Man.
Motorcycle Man, I hear the rumbling.
Biker Boy.
I thought you were talking about Fortuna here.
No, I was talking about that noise of a motorcycle in the background. As soon as it's spring, he starts it up.
Now, I really have an awesome statue of Mercury, which with Mercury going direct, you think I would have brought it out. However, it shows some real body parts. And so I was afraid it would get us banned or something censored from YouTube. So, Fortuna's here wishing us luck during the upcoming Mercury retrograde, which is starting next Friday.
Hi, Harley. Or Kara.
Well, hi, Kara.
Harley Motorcycle.
Harley.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny.
There's one or two right around us in our little condo area here, and I heard him earlier before we started. I guess that's him just returning. He probably went off for his first little jaunt.
Personally, I just think he loves turning that thing on and making noise, because I hear it a lot some days during the summer. Either he's going back and forth constantly, or he's just turning it on. I swear, it's crazy.
It's an obsession.
Maybe he's delivering things on his motorcycle. I don't know.
Delivering bad vibes to the neighbors.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Alrighty then. Let's get this card for the collective going, which of course will be from my Season of the Witch Ostara Oracle. Alright. Thank you. And an announcement. I'll be doing an unboxing video shortly. It'll be coming out sometime on Monday. And it is for
tomorrow.
This Oracle deck. Cries of the Soul's Oracle. It's probably, well, you know, I'm not into shadow work as much as Mr. O, but, you know, because he does the show Goth Tarot, so we'll be sharing this deck. But I have to say, it's a shadow work deck. It is probably one of the most comprehensive things I have on shadow work. I'm really very impressed with this.
Yeah, we're excited to be thinking about some ideas, maybe a collaborative episode of Goth Tarot, things like that.
I'm taking it over. Goth Light with Banshee.
Goth Butterfly.
So anyway, that'll be coming out tomorrow.
I'm not surprised, Kara.
It's just about 20 minutes long. And what do we have? Aw, love it. It's Rainbow, number 32. I love looking for rainbows. I hunt them down. All right. Because, you know, rainbows are all about hope, confirmation, transformation, and spiritual awakening. Take a breath, be still in your heart, and believe in what dreams may come. Rainbows are a universal symbol of beauty and hope. A rainbow occurs when sunlight shines through raindrops, which acts like tiny prisms in the sky, becoming a welcome sight at the end of a rainstorm. Rainbows has entered your spread to renew your sense of what is possible. It's a happy sign that is letting you know that the storm is gone and brighter days are ahead. Boy, don't we need that. We need a little bit of that rainbow energy. You are about to go through a transformation that is joyous and happy. Unlike some transformations that are dark and ominous, this one is welcome and begins a journey of extended happiness, love, creativity, or peace. Take a deep breath, sigh of relief. Maybe not you, because you'll cough. Sigh of relief, as it means your troubles are finally at their end. If you have hurt someone in your life, this card can mean they are ready to forgive you and move on. Likewise, it means you too are ready to offer your own forgiveness to others, freeing your heart of further pain. In finances, this card can mean an unexpected windfall or opportunity is on the way to you, or the end of some financial trouble. For a career, it can mean a promotion or finding employment. For all other readings, this is your sign that good luck is about to fall upon you, like finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It also serves as a yes in a yes-no question. And guess what? What did I bring out here? Right? Luck, fortune, fortuna. And look, she's got all these gold coins here. It's almost like I made this happen. I don't know. Not going to say. But I think that's an interesting synchronicity. Maybe some of us are going to have some good luck. So that would be really, really good. And I think here, the one thing that struck me too, Mr. O, and this is really funny, is when it talked about how a rainbow happens, it occurs when the sunlight shines through the raindrops. I didn't tell you this because you were at work yesterday in the morning, but I was sitting here and I'm looking outside and the sun was so bright at one point, there was still a little bit of snow on the ground and it was melty. And I was seeing prisms in the grass. I was seeing like these little dots of multicolored light. And I'm like thinking to myself, oh, okay, for a while there I thought, wow, that is really cool. Maybe something's on the ground there. But then I began to realize I saw it more and more places. And I realized it was the sun shining down on it. And I said, they're fairy lights. They're fairy lights. I'm seeing fairy lights.
Oh, cool.
It was a very cool story. So to see this and to read that is very interesting. Well, I'll let you know if good luck visits me. I feel like we've already had some. So, just in things that Mr. O was able to find out, and also his car that almost went bad on a freeway.
Hi, Flo, and hi, Kelsey.
Flo and Kelsey. Hello, Flo. We will get you guys on the list. Is there anybody else before them?
Nope.
Okay.
So that was our card for the day, or card for the collective.
So expect maybe a positive turn of luck in your life. Focus on that. Encourage that. Look, I'm encouraging it. I've got about as much lucky things as I could possibly have on today, except for Fiber Magic's lucky hat that she made for me. It's the only thing I am missing. Okay, so I got to update that, and let's get the list out there. Let's get the show on the road. All right.
Alrighty.
I'm going to post the list as I have it. And let's get rolling. All right. Your deck first, Mr.
So
O.
Angel is up and he wanted an oracle.
Oh.
I actually have one here, I think. Yes, I have the Dark Light Oracle. I'll be happy to pull that.
Okay.
Complete with an affirmation.
I just worry if I let Mr. O use that oracle, I'll never see it again.
Which one?
The Oracle of the Souls. Actually, he was going to give me one of his oracles, but I think you've changed your mind, right?
Which one was that?
The one that sort of has shadow work implications.
This one I just rediscovered that was sitting there?
Yes. Did I grab it from you? Maybe I did.
I moved it out of your way.
He has changed his mind. I talked him into changing his mind. I showed him how useful it could be, right? Anyway. All right.
And I have pulled water. Number 3, what you feel. Hi, Christine.
Hey, Christine. Get you on the list.
Water, what you feel. Did you ever notice that your heart is like a wild sea, sometimes peaceful and calm, shining in the sun like a diamond? At other times, it's stormy and raging, sinking any boat that dares to leave the harbor. Now is the time to ask yourself, what am I feeling about this? Let your heart speak. Do not censor anything. Listen to the truth of your inner emotions. What you are feeling is to be respected. Welcome your heart impulses. Learn to accept them as they are. Repressing your emotions is like denying yourself the right to feel. Don't lie to yourself. Be clear about what you feel with no shame, no pretense. The rivers of your emotions have to find their way to the ocean of your consciousness. So the key words are inner emotions, feelings, storms and passions, heart matters. The affirmation, I am clear about what I'm feeling at the moment. I do not block my emotions. I accept and welcome them.
There you go. That's the important thing, is accepting your emotions, and not trying to hide them. There's a bit, sometimes we feel we can't say what we really feel. We're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. We're afraid of voicing how we feel because we're worried about how it will be taken. You seem pretty matter of fact about these kind of things, Angel, but there may be a point here where you're wondering if you should hold back and hold it in, and my answer would be no. But just just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to get dramatic about it, if you know what I mean. It's okay to voice your opinion in a way that people will respect you. And everybody should respect the fact that we can agree to disagree on things. So, and how we feel about things. And so your feelings are as valid as anybody else's.
Well, what I like about water, what I think about sometimes, is that it is basically shapeless or formless, and that it always sort of rises to its, equal point. But it can be contained by vessels or other things, and so it can take shape, perhaps, when people try to form it or contain it or to express something in a certain way. Hey, let's put it in a pot and add pressure there, and then it may boil over. And so once again, it's a great analogy to emotional feels. But I think this card is basically saying accept all that and find your own happy medium of where your boiling point is, as well as maybe your freezing point.
That's what we have for you. Good luck. Oh, did I not do a Lenormand? We always do
a Lenormand. Hi, Libra.
Got you on the list, Libra. I'll be posting the list in a minute for everybody who came, recently into the list. Right. Oh, it's probably about work, Mr. Rivera.
Why am I not surprised? It's the moon. Not sure if these will go up there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't realize he was doing this setup. I picked these today. So the Lenormand tiles, the moon and the tower, which indicates to me,
the tower has fallen. We wish, right?
It's not like the tarot tower, that just basically means it's a workplace. It's an institution of higher learning or legal matters or political things. It could be a number of things. But it's like there is some success for you in saying what you really feel, maybe at work. It's not going to hurt you from the sounds of things. So, just I would always say, be careful how you say it. And I feel here that people would rather, hear the honesty than a pack of lies, right? Of course, there are some people that are very placated by lies these days. But for the most part, I really think people appreciate honesty.
And I'll just throw in the symbolic value of the moon, meaning, the cycling, of time, and saying, this could be saying prepare for that best moment or opportunity. That maybe timing is the key here, is that, if you need to address certain things or express parts of yourself within that framework, work institution, there may be the best time to do that, or that moment when all of a sudden it's clear you should.
Yep. Okay, that's it. That's what we have for you. Good luck with that.
Good luck.
All right. So, we do just for people who maybe new that are watching, we do tarot readings that are longer. We do an oracle reading. Sometimes we'll do 2 oracle cards, depending if somebody wants top and bottom. But we read the oracle, and I have a number of oracles here too, so we'll be duking it out over oracle.
Well, I only have that one.
You only have that one? Well, I have like 5 here.
I know. Well, I have a few over that way, but I'm not going to get up
I'm
for
just
them.
kidding.
Of course you are.
I am.
All right, so who's up? It's Lena. And if I
Lena
recall,
is up. Did I
Lena
not post
asked
the
about
list?
business, I believe. Let's see, where is that? Finances for the next 4 months.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. And that's going to be my deck, right?
No, you just did a deck, so it's
Right,
going to
so
be
that's going to be your
mine now.
deck. Get
I
ready.
use the Sacred Sheet Oracle, or Tarot. I've been, this is our cards for the collective for the 2 weeks ahead. I love this deck. It's really beautiful. Kind of throws me, though, with the numbering system and the renaming of cards, but the more I use it, the more I'm getting used to it.
And I think if you're new or if you're not, it's valid for us to tell you that, yes, we live a really, blessed life, a lot of luck. We've been able to really devote a lot of our time and attention and interest in tarot cards and divination oracles. And we love, mixing it up and displaying them. We have many, many to display. And I think it's about the art of that, too, that we just really feel great about sharing, the beauty that's expressed in tarot and oracles. What you got? Oh, you're trying to figure out what it is?
I am. Is it the devil? What's the devil? 15?
Yes.
14 is a tower then? Or 14 is
it's temperance.
It's temperance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's karma. It's karma in this deck, which is interesting. So that's the first card.
Beautiful card.
We'll take a look at that. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, Lena. This is great news. It's the 9 of Cups upright. But, little caveat, it's the 10 of Wands upright as well.
Can I have the Lenormand?
Why, yes you can. All right. So, it's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense because they're holding the yin-yang symbol. That would be temperance. So, I really feel everything is going to be kind of balanced out for you financially in the next 4 months. Seems like you're going to have a better handle on things, or that you're going to feel a lot, how should I say this, a lot more relaxed or calm about where things are for you financially. And it might be because
The moon has returned.
put it out there.
And the panda bear.
And it might be because you're actually able to manifest something that will help you, achieve this financial stability. This is a card of wishes. This is the card of manifestation. And I feel, and satisfaction. So again, it really does tie in quite nicely with that temperance card. But I would say this in the next 4 months. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I feel like things are, sometimes we push too hard. When things are going well, we sometimes, believe it or not, people feel they have to push harder, They have to do more. They have to make more happen. I think what this is saying is be satisfied. Be satisfied with what you've done and take some of the pressure off yourself now.
What if the cards expressed indicate that your finances go well because you fall into a bit of overtime, which generates more finances?
I like
but
that.
It's an overworked feeling because it's overtime, it's more hours spent. Yet still somehow there is that feeling that, this is satisfying you to some degree. This is giving you what you really wanted, better finances. But at the end of the day, there may be a point where you will have to really back off, have karma kind of...
I screwed up.
How so?
Well, look at the 9. It's not the Nine of Cups.
Oh, it's Pentacles.
It's the Nine of Pentacles, but that's even better. We'll talk. I'm sorry about that.
But either way, I can kind of see that idea that, somehow there's a situation, from my point of view, that, creates overtime or situations where there are more opportunities to work a little harder, extra hours to make money, but there may be a balance that will come due.
This is so funny, Lena. I have a deck that's color-coded, for crying out loud, and I'm still messing up. That is the Nine of Pentacles. So I'm just going to modify this a little bit because it's pretty much a similar message in that, you're going to find things are very stable, things you can relax a little bit. Maybe you can ease off on the overwork. Maybe Mr. O is right. Maybe you're going to put in some overtime or do some extra stuff that's going to bring you some money, but you're going to be able to ease up and you're going to be able to relax more and enjoy the comforts around you. The Nine of Pentacles upright is saying that everything is really right in your world. You feel comfortable. You feel secure. Things are really going to balance out for you. I really feel good about this reading overall.
Those Lenormand sort of add to it directly in a way,
100%.
Right?
It's showing that you're going to feel more self-confident, empowered, and that you really have this financial stability.
It translates to that.
There's a lot of these different elements that are in the bear card of the Lenormand, and a big part of it is financial security, investments, things that just seem to be paying off for you.
Maybe
success.
Maybe that bear has given you the strength to power through the extra work that we're indicating or as a possibility. It does relate to this increased financial success.
It could mean security through, work too. The security may come through your workplace. I don't know if you're hoping to get a raise or some kind of promotion if you're looking for another job, but those prospects are really good here as well. So I'd say the next 4 months financially are going to get better as the months go on.
Oh,
so
really, huh?
Good luck with that. Sorry for that mess up. I think I'll have to use this deck a couple times today. I want to keep using it more so I get used to it. This is fast becoming a favorite of mine, really. But anyway, let's move on.
All right, and it's Jebuson's turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've left us a message. You're going to take a look.
That's right. He came and...
Oh, you said you fell asleep during the last live. Yeah, it took us a while to get to you. We're sorry about that. But if you're here now and conscious, why don't you go ahead and give us, there you are, your question, and we will toss the cards for you, kind person.
All right.
And I'm going to wait and see what kind of question it is before I decide what deck I may want to use here. So in the meantime, I'll remind everybody that we are back on Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Pretty much doing what we're doing here now, reading the tarot, answering your questions, whatever those may be. And thank you for that. We will begin then. So I'm going to use my Secrets Tarot because What's Up could say, hey, is there anything you really do need to know about that you don't know right now? It's a secret.
Oh.
What kind of things are most likely occurring?
Oh my goodness.
What
Did I
did you
drop
do?
any? That's what I dropped. I was looking for that. It's not a card.
Do you need me to change the screen?
No. I'm going to try to pick it up with my wand, if I can. No, I just made it worse. Oh, there. I knew I could do it. It's one of my little bands I keep around the cards. I knew I had one for this deck, and I'm like, where did it go? It fell.
All right. Card one. It's the Ten of Cups. And it's upright.
Nice.
So hooray for that. Card two is the Hermit reversed. That actually kind of goes along with that, maybe.
Maybe.
And then card three is the Lovers reversed. So you have two major arcana. You have the Lovers reversed, you have the Hermit reversed, but you have the Ten of Cups upright.
Wow.
And for the
just
third
dug
time,
through
as
there.
the first
What's
card.
going on?
Well, is there a moon going on this week?
Yes, there is. There's
Okay,
a lunar
maybe it's that.
eclipse, right?
Heads up on moon activity. That could be a number of things. And the second Lenormand is the home.
Well,
So it's a heads up for the week, and it appears that maybe there's a couple things going on. It seems like maybe there's an emphasis on happy, unconditional kind of fun times, perhaps with a family or with close friends. Maybe it involves children's activities, or maybe it involves just feeling, that comfort of being in a more or less loving, situation of friends, family, or whatever.
it's kind of funny here. I don't know if this is really going to hold up. But I feel here that when I saw that Ten of Cups, I thought to myself, well, and then when I saw the Lovers and the Hermit, I thought to myself, is there going to be, you may have to make a choice this week between family and, doing something with family connections, or maybe helping family out, whatever the case may be, and doing something else, getting out and doing something else that you really want to do. I don't know if it was a social activity or if it's work related, but it's almost as if you have a choice to make here, and you got to be deciding what's more important to you and what the right thing may be to do. So if it's not family, it could be some, maybe some connections that people you're really close to, friends or relationship, and there's something else that really has been pulling you out to do. You really feel like, I need to do this other thing, I need to finish something, I need to get back to something, but this is calling you. And the Lovers is saying, the choice you make could be really important here. Are you going to let people down who want to see you? Or is this something really you can't let go of?
Okay, and so you indicate not family, so we get it. Families can be biological or otherwise.
Right.
I'm drawing a little bit to the house in the Lenormand, because I sort of feel like the house maybe defines the Ten of Cups a little bit more. The idea of saying it's who's around you, whoever that is, whether you live alone or not. There may be neighbors that you have some amount of interaction with. This doesn't necessarily mean all that, but I think it's talking about maybe your own domicile to some degree. The Hermit reversed, the Hermit can be reversed or unreversed, and so that can speak to somebody who maybe is more of an individual, a loner personality. I'm not making any judgments there. Some people, have really fulfilling lives without necessarily interacting within a wider circle or not.
Well, there's a couple of different things that could be said other than the family connection, especially with the Ten of Cups. But, I see the home here, and I see the Ten of Cups, which can be very heartfelt happiness and stuff. Maybe home is where the heart is this week, just being home. However, something wants to pull you out of that, something wants to pull you away, and the choice is yours what you want to do. It almost seems to me like things would work out better for you if you just enjoyed some time on your own at home this week, if it's at all possible. More time spent doing some private activities yourself. I know that there's a call to get out and socialize or be with other people at this time, but it may not be the right time for you. The other thing is, one other thought I'm going to throw out there for you, Jefferson, is this week, you may really want something to come to an end. It would make you really happy if you could complete something, a project, a goal, if something could come to fruition this week. But have you taken care of everything you were supposed to make that happen? Sometimes the Hermit reversed is saying, you need to come out of your hiding place, so to speak, or if you were trying to avoid, or maybe you just didn't make the time to get this done, that's a problem now. You know, you need to address it. You need to try to move forward on this. The Lovers is saying the choice you make will determine whether you're successful or not, if you reach that final happy comfort place that you want to be.
And finally, for me, Jefferson, it seems
That's
like
what
the
I got.
Lovers reverse could indicate that there is a feeling like you may be drawn in different directions, and some of this really will sort of present as something more appealing, but below the surface you may find that there are flaws, there are reasons why you may not want those choices. All right.
That's what we have for you. I wish you luck with that.
Good luck.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
And we have Shirley is up.
Shirley. All right. You're welcome.
And if you are finishing any projects or goals, Jefferson, or want to get something done, the best time to do it is before Mercury goes retrograde this Friday. Good luck with that.
And it's going to be your cards for Shirley.
I'll pick a more normal deck. Let's do a cat one.
Shirley wants to know, will their business improve in the next 30 to 60 days?
All right. And if we don't get a good clear answer, we'll do a yes, no on that.
Yeah. And if you missed it, but you might want to check it out, it's Banshee's Material Matters, offering key financial and economic advice. It's on Sundays at 10 a.m. We're live in the chat room, and we had a pretty good conversation going. But the information for each sign of the zodiac is good for all week till next Saturday, so check that out.
Well, we're off to a quiet start here with the Four of Cups upright. I like this, though. The Ten of Wands is reversed. Yeah, the Five of Cups is reversed. Nice.
All right, so let's find a Lenormand that's nice.
So the question was 30 to 60 days, right? Or
Right.
60 to 90? 30 to 60.
So naturally, of course, I got the mice
It's all right.
and the crossroads, but the crossroads are leading to the mice, so I have an idea about that, but let's start with the reading.
Well, I think things could improve, conditions could improve, maybe. It's looking good. Except the Four of Cups here upright indicates to me kind of a pause. So that led me to think that it's probably going to take longer than 30 days, okay? I think it's going to be more playing out through the 60 days if it's going to happen. And the Four of Cups kind of cautions you to, maybe things are slow and, we can lose our motivation, we can lose our drive, we can kind of feel like we're in a rut. But, there may be opportunities to break that standstill. But you have to be open to paying attention and capitalizing on, whether it's timing, a matter of putting a product out there or putting PR out there about your business before, at the right time. Stuff like that. Timing is everything sometimes. So don't miss out on opportunities, even if things seem slow. Keep your eyes open. I'll stop
So
there
to
for
me,
now.
I feel like there is this pause that maybe is more, hi Viddy, at the beginning. Oh, and hi Christabel. That is more at the beginning of this 30-day flux. And I think what it could represent also too is that maybe there's new information or new ideas coming in that you want to consider or think about. And so that could be what the pause is that maybe you have some options presented that maybe make you want to, do some diligence on them.
And the second card, to me, the Ten of Wands, this is really good. It's almost as if, and it's really funny, it kind of flies in the face of what I'm seeing down here. But I think that the Ten of Wands indicates to me that you will start to feel some pressures or stressors easing. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. As time goes on, you may be able to ease up a little bit. Things start to improve and you can ease up. You'll feel less pressure on yourself.
I feel that pretty much too. I can't give too different on that. It feels like as you're moving into the mid of this, all of a sudden, maybe whether as a result of taking your time towards a decision or just because that's the flow of things, it starts unfettering you. And so that may not be so much an increase in business, but maybe a decrease in what physically taxes the business. So that could, hi Mandy. So that could be things like, money expenses or extra time expenses. Maybe relieving yourself of those things are also key to improving the business without being directly, increase of business.
And so the other part of this is that final card, Shirley, is interesting to me because it kind of ties into that first card, looking for opportunity or keeping your eye open for opportunities. It's kind of now you're going to be at a state, and I think this is towards, well, it's hard for me to say. I was going to say maybe this is what happens at the end is like you're ready to take on new opportunities. But what I'm wondering here is if this is saying maybe there's going to be, this is part of this card, and you're going to see some opportunity. You're going to see something where you're going to be able to capitalize it that maybe is turning all of this around. I think here that this could also be maybe something that brought business in the past. You might go back to something you used to do or a program you used to offer, whatever the case may be, a product you used to offer, and that could bring you success or some new innovative ideas. You're ready to move forward with some new projects and goals because things are starting to pick up and look better, I think.
Is the pause or waiting indicate at the beginning because maybe there's a realization that something that was helpful from before or something like that is changing or is coming back into the picture, the return of somebody or something that was able to be helpful before in your business? I get a feel for that. I'm not sure exactly what that is.
Well, Shirley, I'm thinking here that another reason why it's probably going to take 60 days may have a lot to do with the Mercury retrograde. And so when I look at these cards down here, the Lenormand, the Crossroads, and the Mice, I really feel that that's going to be these next 30 days. You're just going to feel like, what do I need to do here to eliminate stress, make more income come in, have business pick up? You're going to be stressing your direction a little bit. And maybe that's where this comes in too. This sense of, I have to pull back and really think about things. I'm spinning my wheels here, and it's going to ease. I really feel this is what's coming after the 30 days. Mercury retrograde, it's hard for things to move forward, Things behind the scenes work better.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's like those mice are from Mercury.
I'm thinking so. We blame Mercury for everything here. Anyway.
Darn tootin'.
Oh, but that's what we have for you, and that's what I think maybe there might be a little bit of a slowdown right now, but things might start picking up after the first 30 days. So, or maybe even towards the end of that time. I won't rule that out either. But I see right now it's not moving quite yet. So good luck with that.
Hi, Ari.
Oh, Aries here now too? Oh my goodness. So we're at 15. as we speak. Siama's up?
Yes. Trying to trigger the fireworks and they won't go.
Oh.
Come on, fireworks. Oh well, sometimes that triggers the fireworks in the background.
All right, there's the list as I have it.
So let's
Your
see.
deck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did we get a question?
It might have been for general. Let me take a peek.
Okay.
General. Mhm.
Okay.
All right, Siama. Let's see. I'm going to use the Barbieri Tarot.
You're welcome, Christabel. Thanks everybody for, who's posted their questions. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. That helps.
Right.
All right. Card 1 for your general reading is the reverse 7 of Wands,
Okay.
the upright 2 of Pentacles, and the upright 9 of Wands.
That's a really interesting combo.
Yeah,
Let me
it
ask,
is an
what was the
interesting
question
combo.
again?
General reading.
Oh, just general. Okay. I think it kind of fits together.
It does.
Let's see what's going on here. I swear. Will I pick different Lenormands this time? I did.
So there's the scythe.
Yeah.
And the stars. And
Well-
I like that more or less, I believe.
And this is for the week or just general?
It's, well, it just says general, so we can decide ourselves, I
Okay.
suppose.
Well, I think it's beyond the week. I think this might have some broader implication, but I'm not sure
Sure.
here. Yeah, I kind of feel with the that's the 2 of Pentacles, not Swords.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I kind of feel here, that you may have trouble finding your footing right now. You may have trouble, going forward, getting things, balanced and feeling like things are under your control. You just may lose your footing a little bit. I don't know if something is going to throw you off your game, something that happens. So what I think here is you got to just kind of prepare yourself. For example, if you're expecting something to go down at work, or you're having some disagreements with lovers or friends, or there's some family issues, you just may want to stand prepared for it. Just prepare yourself for what you may think you're facing, because really what you want to do is have this state of equilibrium here. You're trying to get everything in balance, but it's kind of hard right now. Maybe the idea is too is you're losing your footing because you can't quite find the balance between your business life or your career aspirations or your goals and your personal life. Maybe that's it too. And so you're going to have to do something here, lay the groundwork for trying to find that balance.
That was actually the latter impression where I was going. I felt that
Okay.
the 2 in the center sort of
Yeah.
indicated the attempt or the atmosphere of orderliness that was needed, or balance was needed, but that there were sort of these errant forces that were sort of not giving you the amount of control, or presenting little obstacles in your path, or making you feel like you just didn't exactly have the control you thought you did. I mean, that's the way of looking at it too, was like and so that could pertain to work, that you felt like you were in charge of something, but maybe there were too many things that were opposing that. And so finally, it does lead you to trying to figure out what it is you need to do best next in order to get back to that, sense of being able to hold your own here.
It's interesting because with the Lenormand too, I see here that this could cut into your to your hopes and dreams. I mean, you may have ideas of what you want to accomplish, in the next, say, 3 months or whatever here. But, if you don't find the balance, if you don't balance your life, the different aspects of your life, or maybe even it's internal, different aspects of yourself right now. You may feel conflicted inside about, where you should place emphasis, or how to get one part of your life back into control. It's going to cut into your success and your goals unless you do find that balance.
It feels more likely that this is about maybe a situation where you have management concerns, whether it's a responsibility that just falls to you, or whether it's part of a job or situation. So it is mostly important to keep positive about this, because these could be things that are trying to make changes that undermine your objectives. They may not be malicious, but it may just be other situations that are trying to do the best for themselves. Don't let that necessarily cut away from your own success that you're moving towards.
That's what we have for you. Good luck with that.
Good luck, Siama.
We're on Preeti. Hi, Preeti. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think it's this week. No, it's not. Is it this week? It is this week. Might be the actual birth week of our cats.
Yes,
we don't know.
It's an approximation, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty
within
close.
A week or so, possibly.
Yeah.
But we believe their birthday was around the middle of the month.
And they're going to be 11 years old.
11
all
years.
3 of them.
In some ways, it seems like it's been longer than that, and then in some ways, it seems like it's been shorter
than that.
And it's funny because, we've had so many cats over our lifetime, and usually we have them 3 in a bunch. So there's been several rounds of 3 cats. So that's, maybe a dozen cats we've owned together, maybe more. And it's funny how, when you think about your cats, you really adore and love them, and maybe you temporarily forget those other ones. But then you remember that, and maybe either because you feel a little guilty, or just because, then you think about them too. You send a little love their way. Aww. What's Preeti up for, General? Shall I look?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look.
Then for you.
Whoopsie, I'm shuffling away.
What's coming towards me? So
Okay.
that's your reading.
That's okay. We'll do that.
Nice.
All right.
We can do that.
Okay, let me shuffle now that I know. Sorry. Got into my cats. I started to make a video for the cats, a little one, a mini one on Canva that I was going to post with some photos. It's really more like a slideshow, but I never finished it. And it was actually when I thought they were 10 years old, and that was 2 years ago. And then I found their paperwork and said, whoops, they're really 9 this year. And so then I totally forgot about the video, and I never finished it, but maybe I'll get it out this year. It was one of my first attempts at putting something like that together. And I did it as a slideshow, really.
And Mr. O is very thirsty.
Oh.
Well, somewhat thirsty.
All right, I'm going to cut. All right, let's see. I'm just going to lay him out here, face down, till Mr. O gets his drink. And just remind everybody about some of our other programming. I will have that unboxing video coming out on Monday. We're also this month going to do a lightning round, which is just a single card fast reading with the tarot for everybody who happens to find the lightning round, because it just pops up when it pops up. And rest assured, there will be one this month. Plus, pretty soon, we're going to finalize a date this month for our past life readings. We're going to do past life reading show, and you can either do a past life love or just a general past life. We'll give you information on a past life. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, reaching intuitively and creatively. We have a lot of fun with this. Whether you believe in past lives or not, you might enjoy this show. All right. So, here we go. Well, Seven of Wands is back in this deck. It's upright, though, this time. And here's the Eight of...
You're reading. What's coming towards
Okay. That's right. We do them one at a time for this reading. So what is coming towards you? It sounds to me like you are going to have to kind of stand up for yourself, Preeti, in this week ahead. Stand your ground. Stand up for yourself can mean a lot of different things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're being attacked, okay? It can mean that. I mean, somebody might challenge you on your principles or your beliefs or your skills, your talents. They may be jealous of you. They may want to knock you off a pedestal. But it could also mean that you are standing up for yourself in this way. Say you're going for a job interview. You want to stand up for, what a great candidate you are for this job. You want to show them that you are qualified and that you stand above your competition. Okay, so it could be something like that as well. If you're a student, you want your project and your paper to stand out above the others.
Most of the wand cards do sort of stand for ambition. So in a sense, there is that idea here that maybe what's coming towards you is a chance to try to show yourself in a better light than other candidates. That could be something about work, but it could also be about, other situations too. It could be about being in school or something like that, where maybe there's competition to have the best grades, things like that. It could be a number of things. It could be how you raise a child or how you see yourself in casual dating situations. But that's what's coming towards you, is the opportunity to put yourself more in a strategic position.
And so why is this important? Because you have the Eight of Cups upright. And the Eight of Cups says this is important because you want to show how you rise above everybody else. And you yourself also want something higher right now. You feel like you deserve something better. You want to climb some ladder, whether it's a career ladder, whether it's a spiritual ladder, whether it's, a relationship ladder. You may want to take this relationship to another level, for example.
So, in a sense, that first card could have been about you solo leveling, like you in competition with yourself to rise to a better position. I mean, I kind of see a bit of a flow there. 7 goes to 8 anyway. So maybe the 8 of Cups is saying it's important that you have that sort of sense of being ready to be, confident and poised, because it puts you in a position to move towards something that will be better for you, or something that you see as happier, more enlightening, more beneficial in most ways.
So where are things headed? Oh, wow, they're all upright. That's interesting. It's the 7 of Swords, and it's upright.
Use your powers for evil. No, I'm kidding.
Well, where things are headed is that, you might have to, even though you're standing up for yourself, you want to aim higher, you may have to kind of, it's all in your approach, how you approach this. And I think that standing up for yourself right now, maybe you don't have to shout it out. You don't have to boast or brag. You just take a more subtle approach to things. You take a delicate approach. You show people in real tangible ways, realistic ways, how you are the better candidate for a job, for example, or how, this relationship, I don't know what I want to say there.
Well,
but how this deepening this relationship, will be good for both of you. In other words, don't just take the road of I'm the greatest thing you've ever seen, so to speak. Whether it's in business or love or whatever, take the approach of this is how I can benefit your wonderful organization, or this is how I, can really make a difference in your life, or how our lives together will be better if we get closer.
Well, I'm going to take this a little bit more simply, perhaps, and
Okay.
say that it's a balancing 7 to the other side, which is quite interesting.
That's a good
But
point.
maybe this is saying that idea of what you're standing up for is better served in a way by not being obvious, like Banshee said, by literally going under the cover of radar, under the radar. So whatever this accomplishment might be, it's not important for you to have everyone necessarily know it. It really is more of a personal achievement, and that maybe, to some degree, this does represent that there are some odds against you. We kind of went back and forth with saying it didn't have to mean that, but this kind of says that maybe there is something to that. It may not be very dramatic.
And I will say this, why is it important? It's really interesting because in my Sacred She Tarot, they take the Eight of Cups and call it separation. And I was just having a real problem with that. But of course, with the Eight of Cups, there is this idea that, you have to leave something behind in order to move ahead with your life. And so, you may have to leave some of your independence, for example, behind if you want to deepen a relationship. You may have to leave a different job or environment behind if you want to move on to something else, right?
So in Lenormand, we have the bouquet and we have the garden. And it's always nice to find a bouquet in a garden.
There is joy in connecting with others right now, or something good to be had from it. There are rewards from connecting with others right now. The garden indicates, too, that maybe it's possible you could go to a social gathering and you could meet, you could meet people there that will benefit you in some way. You'll make connections that could really help you achieve, this advancement that you want.
Well, and I almost wonder if they are connected to that question, what's coming towards you, and that maybe some of this is about that idea of like maybe this is a situation where you need to sort of be able to shine a little bit in certain ways, or to demonstrate a certain sense of your position there, and maybe it's a gift to you to be able to do that, even if it means you're like it sounds like maybe moving off to a new adventure of some sort, or moving to a situation where you're saying farewell, I'm moving on to a new adventure. It's kind of weird that way.
Well, I would say this too, one more thing, that sometimes when we do a general reading, there can be different things going on here. And I almost wonder too...
But this was a what's coming towards you.
It's what's coming towards you. Well, this could be it too, though. I'm just going to say that this could indicate attending a wedding or a celebration of some sort, where either or it's about you, celebrating you, where you might get some gifts, or you'll be giving a gift
Are you
to
going to
someone.
elope?
So I'm
And
just
run
throwing
off?
that out there because I kind
Under-
of felt that after I looked at those tiles again. So, but that's what we have for you. Good luck with that.
Good luck.
And we are on
Kara.
Kara. What do you got for us, Kara? Did you post it? Was that a crazy dream?
I'll look for it. What does Odin have? Okay.
All right.
Well,
that could be my reading too, but you can go ahead with your deck.
as luck has it, I brought the Tarot of the Northern Shadows.
How did he do that?
Odin's own favorite. Well, we don't know that, but...
All right. Grab that.
All right, first card is the Ace of Discs. And so this is, what does Odin have for you? Well, it looks like the beginning of something that has some material implications one way or the other. So it could be the start of something that maybe is generating a financial source for you. But it could also just be another kind of project that is good for you to do that without necessarily a monetary, thing about it. It could be about maybe, starting a project that is about, bringing security to yourself or to your home. I almost feel like this could be a rune on a plaque, maybe for safety or protection at your homestead.
Odin says it's time to start something growthful. It's time to start something that can expand you in some way. Not weight-wise. No, but I mean, expand you, whether it's financially, whether it's with knowledge, something growthful that he wants you to start working on and to plant the seeds.
So why is it important? And it's the Five of Discs or Pentacles reversed.
Well, maybe it is money.
Well, but the Five of Discs reversed is maybe
Yes.
indicating that you have to kind of come back to the picture or move away maybe from something that was sort of contrary to that purpose. I mean, maybe it's important that you get back in touch with this other thing here because it brings you into a common circle of support or something acknowledging yourself and something that you can really put into.
Why is it this important for you to start something new and growthful? Because Odin wants to see you, he wants to see you, God, I'm trying to think of the right word. He wants to see you no longer feeling a sense of lack in your life. Like maybe if you feel like you've been lacking purpose of late. I was just trying to get the right word.
No, that's brilliant.
Lacking purpose of late or lacking a direction. He wants you to find that. He wants you to work on something that you can grow into, and you will no longer feel like your life feels, I don't want to say that your life is empty right now, Kara, or anything like that, but that you feel like you're lacking something.
Right, and this could just be, a part of yourself that you don't always, acknowledge. But where will this go to? And it is the moon reversed, which means
I like it.
You're finding out something.
You're going to figure it out. We give you these readings sometimes and it's not very clear what Odin wants you to do. But I think here, things are going to be revealed to you. It's like going to be an epiphany. Maybe you'll see something on social media and say, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Or maybe something you're talking about with other people. You're going to say, I want to get involved in that. You're going to find a group or something that you're going to want to join.
You're going to join a coven. All right. And they will bring you bouquets.
They will.
Because they are loyal friends.
Wow. So
you're not going to howl with the wolves. You're going to howl with the beagles.
It's interesting to me because it may involve other people. It may indeed involve other people. Maybe some close connections that you have already, that could bring you, and this could bring you a lot of joy, working with others, working with people you trust and feel secure about. I almost do feel like maybe, because, that he was onto that a little bit with that Five of Discs too. Maybe didn't say it that way, but the Five of Discs is also, in a sense, when it's reversed, of finding your place in community once more. Finding a community of people you feel comfortable with. So maybe Odin's saying that's what's coming your way, So keep your eyes open, and if something really calls to you, that may be Odin telling you, revealing to you that this is the one.
Run with the pack.
Run with the dog pack. Anyway, good luck with that.
Good luck, Kara. You're welcome.
And we're on flow. All right. Let's see. Let's get that. And let's see, Flo may have left a question.
Flo, hey Flo.
Will I find love again? Okay, good question. Let's see what we get.
Okay, that's going to be your deck.
You know what? I'm going to use the Golden Girls for that.
And thanks for watching us today. Candy those Lenormand when you have a chance.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sorry. Here you go.
Okay, that's fine.
And soon. Well, we'll see.
Sometimes the cards can play out in a certain way that says, oh yeah, it's soon.
I take them with
Or
a
not.
grain of salt, but I have a little timing deck with me. We might be able to use that at the end of this reading if it's not very clear.
Yeah. If it's not abundantly clear, you are welcome. Well, we hope
You're
we give
welcome
you an
in
answer.
advance. All right.
And we're sorry in advance if it sucks. No.
Well,
Hopefully
I
not.
got to call it like I see it always, so, you
True
know.
that. Hi,
But if you
Kelsey.
want a happy message, come to Happy Hour's show.
Yes.
On
and
Saturdays, we give a
Happy
single
hour.
card, positive message from Spirit for your week ahead. So it's always positive because, hey, it's not always doom and gloom in our lives. We do have good things happen in the weeks, every week. Sometimes we just don't see it because of the other bad stuff happening. But
And that's going to be at 10 a.m. next Saturday.
yeah. Back to its normal time for 1 week at least. All right. That's not bad reverse, though, necessarily. It's the Four of Cups
It's the
reverse.
Four of Cups. It was reversed.
And you, too, have the Five of Pentacles reversed, which, if you got to get the Five of Pentacles, that's the way you want to see it. And Strength is reversed. None of these cards are red flag, but they're not really saying love is coming really soon. Maybe.
Okay,
Let's see
so
what
here's
he's
the
got.
Lenormand. And the first one is the book. And the second one is the home.
We'll probably definitely want to use the timing cards,
Yeah, I think so. Mhm.
But, the Four of Cups reversed indicates here, you got to keep your eye open for opportunities. There may be opportunities for love to enter your life. And also, I think what that's saying is, it's time to get up and make those opportunities, happen. And so you have to find your
Most
the
likely
proper
place.
Yeah, the right places, the right communities to put yourself in. You want to find love with somebody who's well educated? Hey, attend some lectures, go to some library things, go to a university lecture or art exhibit. Right? What you want to attract, find yourself in that community. I think that's really going to be essential to your success here. And with Strength reversed, it's saying, this is a time that maybe you have to be more aggressive in your pursuit of this. And you're creating opportunities for yourself to find love and to have it come into your life. That's sort of what I'm seeing.
I can't really argue with that. I mean, I think you said it pretty well. I'm just going to kind of go over it a little bit here. I wanted to get more light going there, though, because the light seems to be suckier. There we go.
Oh, there.
So I feel right that, it could be that soon you will see, and we'll define that in a minute, you will see, that when you're looking at opportunities, there may be one, and I'm not talking about necessarily individual people, but maybe situations like the second card is talking about, the venues where you would go. But it may be that, you're just going to understand one thing seems to be more true or poignant than the other. And that could, of course, be the choice of where you actually, seek to find relevance within, people that are like you or that you would be gravitating towards. And so I think this is saying it becomes clear, but you sort of have to line your thoughts that way. It's kind of like what Banshee said, is if you realize, you want to find somebody that is a foodie, because maybe you're a foodie, then you might want to go to places where, they're demonstrating, little kitchen things or little things like that. or find a way to get invited to, friends or coworkers, potlucks or things like that. Just have to think out of the box a little bit. But that's, I guess, really what that last card is saying then, is that this sort of promotes the idea that at least until you're getting there, that you're not thinking so much with a softer response, but sort of a little bit more of an aggressive response, sort of indicating this is where you want to go, not like, being a wallflower or shying away in the background. Hi, Marita. I think we can add you.
Yeah, we can add you, Marita. Let me do that right now.
We're probably getting close to the limit, though, I think.
Yeah, we're at 16 now.
And there's about 9 or 10 left, so.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying.
I
All
know.
right, so I feel that way about that flow, that there's some likeliness here, and it's just about, maybe a little bit. The strength could be a metaphor for being a little bit more extroverted, too, if you don't normally see yourself being very extroverted. But the Lenormand also give us a little bit of a story.
Yes, they do. And I think with the house in the book here is, I would say for now, stay in your comfort zone. The house is about comfort and security and safety. Explore things that are in your comfort zone right now. In other words, you don't want to maybe do anything too new and out there, maybe places you don't feel comfortable going to. So go with what you're interested in, what your interests are. And like I said, the kind of people that you would like to attract. Don't let's say, go to venues or bars that you aren't familiar with, things like that. Stay in your comfort zone. It might also be saying to me to explore things around your neighborhood, because maybe there's opportunities there that you aren't aware of.
I like that. I think that's really true. The book is about, knowledge and finding out stuff. With the home comes the idea that, of course, you should not necessarily go out of that sense of comfort there. And so that could also mean, too, that, you're not going to be as strident as this card indicates, because to some degree, you've already made your intentions out there. And so it is a matter of maybe just taking time to reflect on what they are coming back. Sure hope so. So we're going to do a quick timing kind of sense here.
Well, this gave me some hope. Okay?
Hi, Emily.
At first, I thought I was not going to get...
We'll get you on the list.
Emily. We'll get Emily on the list, and I guess...
Yeah, we're pretty full, so I think you may be the last one, I think.
Yeah, you're either the last one or one more. That would be 18, so... Yeah, let me get Emily on the list.
All right, Flo.
Emily is number 17.
Okay.
And we're on Kelsey now. Hold on, Flo. I've got some timing cards for you. And it's interesting. At first I thought I wasn't going to get a time frame, but they both have a message and a time frame on here. So I like to take two to kind of give a range. And fortunately, they're not like years, okay? So the first one was, you are experiencing fear with the thought of change. Eliminate the fear, and the time frame is within half a year. Close your eyes. Feel what you want. Approximately 3 months. So from 3 months to a year, you could maybe, or 6 months, I guess, is that what it said?
3 to 6 months.
3 to
right.
6 months. You might be able to turn this around, but it's not going to happen, without your effort here. That's really what the cards were telling us. There's not somebody who's going to magically appear. You're just going to have to go out and, put yourself out there, and get into conversations with people and try to meet up people that have like interests to you. I wish you luck with that. Good luck. And Kelsey is up.
Hey, Kelsey, I see your question there.
Right.
And you're welcome, Emily. And Kelsey asks, when will I hear back from FI Company regarding the job offer? I had an interview with them 2 weeks ago, and they told me I'll hear back from them this week, hopefully with good news. Well, we certainly hope so, too, of course. I'm a little more cynical because I come from that generation where things were not so computer follow-up, and so sometimes you might get a letter weeks later, sorry, but it didn't work out, or you may get a call, or sometimes you just don't. And that's
Or if
happened to me.
you are trying for a job in academia,
Yeah.
sometimes they take forever to respond.
So some of that can be malicious. Some of that could just be, people
Bureaucratic.
not following particular procedures as well either.
All right.
But let's see what we can find out for you. So it almost sounds like maybe we'll need the timing cards again, eh?
No, because that's...
Yeah, that's
I
actually
could
more...
say 3 years from
Right,
now,
we
and
don't
I'm
want
not
that.
going
We
to
don't
do
want that.
timing for something that's so immediate.
We'll kind of
Yeah.
flow with what we can feel here. So I'm going to use my Olympus Tarot.
Okay. And
Oh,
two
okay,
more.
good. Good to
Very
know
good.
that. And Flo, you're welcome.
Well, absolutely wishing you luck with that, Kelsey.
We are,
Good luck
Kelsey.
with that.
All right. Card 1 is the Seven of Cups reversed.
They're making a choice.
They're making a choice. Card 2 is the Page of Pentacles, and that one is upright.
One of these just fell out of the deck or out of the bag, and
And we're framing with another 7 again, like we did earlier. And this one is the reversed 7 of Wands.
Wow.
So, a little mix there.
it is a little mixed bag here. You have some stiff competition for this entry-level job, perhaps, which is funny. But there are other people like you who are looking to just get in somewhere. And so, it may be difficult rising above that. But with the Knave of Pentacles here, I don't know. I almost am leaning more positive on this than not, that you will get some good news. That the Knave is about good financial news or news about a career.
And it's a messenger or a message.
Yeah, and what was that one again?
That was the 7 of Cups reversed.
Oh yeah, that they're making a choice.
Yes.
And they're, they are considering, obviously, somebody who is entry level here being the page. And it's good news. But it's saying here that, there's still something that's, putting you at a bit of a disadvantage in all of this. And I'm not sure what it is. Will the salary, well, you're probably expecting an entry-level salary. Will there be something here that just may not meet your expectations?
Are there 7 other competitors? I'm not sure if that's what that means, but that's an interesting thought.
That's an interesting thought, because they're 2 7 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to roll that out, but look at this and tell me what you think, Mr. O.
Okay, so the birds... I know it's for the birds, right? And the stars.
That one fell out of the bag, and so I felt I needed to keep it.
And stars always talk about hope or, things that seem destined to happen that happen and that are good.
I would say remain optimistic. The star is about optimism, hope, your dreams being fulfilled, and it's through a message, right? There's the birds, communication. So I would keep hope alive that this could happen for you. I'm really hopeful for you. But failing that, realize here that you did your best. And if it doesn't come through for you, it's only because you were edged out by somebody who just, whether it was appearance-wise, whether they just said the right things that they wanted to hear, you were just edged out for it, I think. And I'm still banking on the fact that this looks more positive than not.
Well, here's another point to consider too, Kelsey, is that you basically asked, when will you hear from them? And you mentioned that they said it would be this week. And so we thought that was a when. They're making their choice now, nowish. Maybe this is too, which is them saying that they are, looking at the competition, but maybe they're just seeing rough spots there. That could be talking about them really having a rough time coming to the decision. That could still be more positive towards their consideration of you, especially when we take into that. But this could also mean, too, it may not be this week. It may be so hard for them to do that maybe it's going to take a little longer because they really do feel they have their work cut out. Don't be surprised if maybe they want to have another interview of some sort or some other some chance at that. So that doesn't rule out, and I think you may have talked about this before, but we said sending a thank you or something like that. Don't pester them too much about the interview, though. That's probably not always well received.
And I would say if you do not get this entry-level job, write back to them and thank them again or when you're on the phone with them, if they call you, thank them again for the opportunity and ask, hey, can you give me some advice here on how I can improve my chances of getting hired, as I try to find a place of employment? Oftentimes they respect that and they'll give you a little bit of advice. It wouldn't hurt. So consider that as well. And I'm going to close the list just so we can. And I wish you luck with that. Do keep us posted,
keep
Kelsey.
Up with us. We have
Let's see what
hopes
happens
for you
there.
to get that.
So everybody who's on the list right now will get a reading, all right?
Yeah, and
even if we go into overtime.
If you haven't left a question, but you might think you might, navigate around, you might want to leave the question, because if you're not here when we get to your turn and we call for you, well, we're not going to wait very long before we have to move on. You're welcome, Kelsey. Just going to say that. So, yes, technically our list is closed now.
And I'm going to pin that. I didn't. I forgot. There we go. All right. Okay. So we're on Christine. And I think Christine posted.
Yes.
Let's go back. Okay, question. What does Spirit want me to know? Okay, we'll get to that.
All right, so that's going to be your reading.
Yep.
Is that my cards or yours?
It's my cards. I did the Lenormand. And so I'm going to use the Sacred She again. I want to get used to it. And so I was going to say, Christine, you were talking about past life being your favorite readings. We just have a lot of fun with this. I have so many different decks to try to decide what I want to use. A lot of archetype decks are good for determining different facets of a past life. I have a number of them. I have a number of decks that talk about past lives in and of themselves. And I even have one deck that has an alien in it. Because who says you had to have your past life here? It could have been like somewhere else. And then I have some alien decks that I could pull out and say, well, you were a Pleiadian in that life or whatever. So we can have a lot of fun with it, and we do. There's always good messages that come out of those readings anyway. And a lot of times people relate to either the location or some aspect of the past life we bring up.
We've had some real interesting synchronicity.
Okay, what does Spirit want you to know? Let's see if I can get the cards right this time. Yes, it's the Page of Cups. This is a cup upright. So what does Spirit want you to know? Wow, Christine. This is a high time for your intuition, your imagination. This is a time to really envision things. Do some intuitive work. Do some mentally, imaginative things. Work on creative projects right now. Or maybe even go places and do things that stimulate those creative juices inside of you right now. This could also mean that you are about to receive some very happy news.
Well, what does Spirit want for you? A lot of times I think this card says Spirit wants for you to literally work on your metaphysical stuff. This could be saying advance your spirit in any number of ways, higher learnings or more meditations. There's a sense really of being able to astral project or to visualize yourself somewhere else into maybe remote view or things like that. And of course, there is a romantic inclination here too. It could just be connecting with something that really brings you so much joy.
I just love that card. That's really beautiful.
So why is it important?
So why is this important? Okay, well, we have strength reversed. Well, why is this important? Because maybe now is the time to just more aggressively bring out your creative side, your imaginative side, your dreamy side. Maybe this is a time to aggressively bring some of those dreams and imaginative ideas of yours into reality.
There's always an implication with the strength card, one way or the other, that we are solving problems or we are advancing our goals or we are working towards success. And so this is saying that, it's important because you will be successful with these things, whether it is, like I said, astral projection, or whether it's just trying to, figure out ways to be more spiritual and advance kindness and whatever. You're going to be successful. You just may find that it brings out more of a determination in you. And maybe I'm just going to say it's not so based on exactly the content of fairness in your heart, but on the fairness that you feel you need to work for despite it all. Whatever opposes you, be damned. You just need to be determined.
Well, funny you mention that, because where are things headed? It's the devil reversed.
That's right. Be damned. No, don't be damned, but you know what I mean.
Opposition. Well, I just meant with you freeing yourself from that, because there it is. Where are things headed?
Exactly.
You will feel more alive. You will feel more free. You will feel liberated by allowing your dreams to come to life, or trying to manifest your dreams, or even just going through that process, doing something creative. It opens up ourselves, it frees ourselves from feeling like we're confined or attached to the day-to-day dullness of life. It brings some excitement back, right?
I almost am very tempted to say that if you were thinking about, things in your life that constitute you understanding or assimilating your shadow, this is probably saying this is where you're going towards, is that the devil reverse could be seen as a sense of performing and getting through shadow work. It's freeing ourselves of those codependencies or those things that, chain us to our inner darkness without necessarily being productive for us at all. Sometimes we can use our darker elements to find a way to be better.
And if you're really interested in doing shadow work, this is unboxing. I'm going to be releasing a video tomorrow, on Monday. This is an excellent deck.
Yeah, we're looking forward to using this in our own projects, but we're actually thinking we could maybe combine on something too, maybe a special episode of Goth Tarot, I'm not sure.
He may let me in.
I will.
All right.
You dark old hag.
What?
I love you, crone.
Put those Lenormand
okay.
Before I
the Lenormand gives us fish.
Yeah.
And a bouquet. So the gift of abundance.
Wow, the gift of abundance, or maybe this will provide you with abundance of opportunities to bring some joy back into your life, Think creatively. Think of things maybe, what you want to dabble in, some creative goals or projects that you would like to pursue, or things that involve your intuition and imagination. I think also these gifts could benefit an abundance of people.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And I do feel like this is saying, what does Spirit want you to know or have for you? It is about maybe saying that there are blessings of abundance for you, and that you just, need to continue understanding what your mission is, the page, and how it informs you to stand up or be strident for, this working through your dark soul, your dark night of the soul.
Nice reading. Good luck
It was
with
a
that.
really nice reading. I hope you liked it.
And Libra is up.
Hi, Libra.
All right. Let me get the list out there.
I'm going to look for Libra's question. What's the dream I had about Tigger the cat?
Tigger the cat.
Lenormand letting me know he's okay. Okay, I get the feeling like it's a cat that left. You were talking about that recently, weren't you, maybe? That sounds familiar, Libra. Okay. Let's see.
I have all my cat ducks, but that's okay. What's the dream I had about Tigger the cat? Rehomed, letting me know he's okay. Okay, because you rehomed that cat. Okay. Do you want me to use one of my cat ducks, or do you want to go ahead?
I'm going to use this deck.
Okay, that's fine.
It's the Crow's Magic Tarot.
It is fine. All right.
So are we asking it like your question?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3.
I didn't know if it called for that. Oh, the dream. Okay, what did the dream mean? Why is it important? Where are things headed? I don't know. I almost want to do 3 cards on
Let's
this
do
one
3
because it's
cards
about
then.
why the cat might have responded. They're rehomed. I think I'll do it that way. If they're out there, and I think maybe I was wrong.
I remember this. You mentioned this, that they were going to a new home. I think I saw it somewhere. I'm sure I did. Well, we hope so too. It can be a little hard for them. All right, the first card is the Queen of Swords, and it's upright. The next one is the Three of Swords, which is upright. And then finally, it's the Nine of Coins, and this
is wonderful.
Flows perfectly. It's the Stork.
You have no idea.
And the Sun. And I think Tigger's going to be fine. It was a hard decision to make, but it was one you knew you had to do, the Queen of Swords. The Three of Swords is talking about, the pain of realizing that you are now separated. But the joy is in the Nine of Coins, realizing that he's in a good place. He's in a good home. He's comfortable, and he's going to enjoy that. I almost want to cry a little.
That's not much more I can say, thank you. But no, really. It's very cut and dry, Libra. You had to make a hard decision, right? The Queen of Swords is here. And maybe that's why you had the dream. It's kind of haunting you a little bit. And so, you're having dreams that, because of the decision you had to make, it may have, maybe you don't feel super bad about it, but, there is a separation here. You probably did what you had to do for whatever reasons. It wasn't working out in your home, or you couldn't provide for them, whatever the case may be. And, there was a separation here. Or you didn't get along, and you just knew you had to go through this. And you're also worried about how the cat is doing. Will the cat feel this separation? Well, I think they're going to make themselves at home. I think they're going to be very comfortable with where they're at. They're going to deal with it well. They're going to feel comfort. And look at this. I mean, look at that. That's success, joy, and happiness in a new beginning, right? So I think it's going to work out really well.
Sure hope so.
Wow. That was about the fastest cut and dry reading we've done in a while.
That really just
Bam.
worked out perfectly.
Wow.
It's almost as if I
Cards
planned it.
wanted
No.
you to hear this.
It did.
So good luck with
Thanks
that.
for
Libra.
asking about Tigger.
And we are on Christabel. Hi, Christabel.
Hi, Christabel. Will this new income be sufficient to maintain my stability?
Okay. My deck. Let's use this cat deck. I haven't done that today. All right.
And I'm going to remind everybody that I do a shadow work show on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. It's really more like an oracle thing, but I give good ideas, I think, for shadow work. There's usually a affirmation in there, maybe two, and I explore what your shadow issues are and how you can hopefully understand and integrate them. That's Goth Tarot, Wednesdays at 8 a.m. and good for a week.
So why did that stay out? I don't know. Why am I having this problem today?
You're welcome, Christabel.
All right. So what was the question
go.
again? I had it in my mind.
It was whether or not the new income would help them maintain their stability.
Okay.
Especially, I think, in regards to what says maintain that. The
Well,
new
you
income. Okay.
have the Six of Cups reversed to start. The Seven of Wands is upright. I think that's good.
That's cute, too.
And the Three of... Is that saucers again? Yeah, the Three of Cups is reversed. I want to look at this card I pulled. Oh. We'll hold this. I think I want to reveal this later.
All right, so my first Lenormand is the whip, and the second one is the child. And, of course, they're sort of in contradiction to each other, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I don't know. The whip can mean a lot of things, and I'm not sure I
Thank you, Christine.
necessarily like that. Well, actually, I do. I know where I can go with this, maybe. Well, you know what? The Six of Saucers here is reversed, and I think the cups, and I think it's saying here, well, I'm not sure what it's saying. I want to start in the middle, actually.
Okay.
I think I want to start in the middle and then look at these two. I think here, what this is saying is you might be in a better position to succeed, financially than you think you are. You might be able to keep things above water, your head above water, but you are going to have to be careful doing it. I think this might mean that things that you have done in the past that have brought you some joy, maybe some of that you're just not going to, be able to afford or do as often as you would like anymore. So, you might have to bite a bullet a little bit to keep your head above water. And I also think here, don't let others impose on your financial well-being in any way. You may not have a lot of support from others right now. People might, want to borrow money or might try to coerce you to do things that you don't have the money to do here. They may not understand your situation or have your best interests at heart. So try to rise above some of the things that will try to drain you of your resources. And I'm not sure it's necessarily your job, but it could be other things in your life that are trying to, eat at it. And some of that may be you wanting to do things that maybe you should put off for a while until you're sure your finances are where they need to be. I'll stop there because I have something at the end to say.
I'm going to start with the middle one.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
And I do feel that this shows the current idea is that you are basically feeling like you are holding your own or like you are mounting towards the challenge. To me, when I look at the Six of Cups reversed, it may be more about you comparing previously to now. But it could be what Banshee said too, that you may be realizing you'll have to still budget a little bit. Hey,
Where
Russ.
have you been, Russ? Hey, good to see you.
So
I
that
can't
could be
add
saying,
you to the list today, though. I'm sorry, we closed the list.
it could be saying either of those, that maybe you are thinking about the past a little bit in terms of whether or not, you enjoy things more than the current status quo. So I'm wondering if that is a call to saying that you, guardedly, I say, you would probably be able to maintain your stability, but it's going to be a little bit of a day, not so much day by day, but budgeting. You're going to have to be more strategic to some degree. And I like what Banshee said about the Three of Cups. I might have went a little different way, but I think this informs me too that this is really saying this could be a time where other people's feelings may not be
aligned
as well as you might expect here. People may not totally sympathize with you're feeling like you're still questioning whether you're making it. Some of them could be because maybe they just don't understand you, even for some reason, after however long you've been a friend. Or maybe they just really look at things differently because maybe their life seems more privileged, and so they don't understand why yours doesn't. Could just be overlooking.
Now, when I look at the child and the whip, what I'm seeing here is that, you may have to, the child is usually about, it's a variety of things. It could be a real child, but, it could be about moves and maneuvers, and usually it's about slow growth. But you also have the whip here, and the whip sometimes is about fast, aggressive actions, not always good ones. Depending on the reading, let's say if this was a divorce reading, this could indicate there could be some fights and arguments over children, in the divorce. That's just an example. But what I'm seeing here is that instead of taking slow steps to ensure your financial security, you should be more aggressive in your approach to financial insecurity. This is not a time to just, say, well, okay, I'm doing really well this week, so I'm going to spend some extra money on this or that. No, I think you've got to be a little bit more aggressive in your approach and not slow down your goal of making ends meet. So try to stay within a more disciplined, right? A more disciplined financial plan.
I hear you, Libra, and I hope you have great memories.
Libra, that was such a beautiful reading. And so I hope you enjoyed that. That was just, wow. Yeah.
So in the Lenormand, Christabel, I kind of see this too. I sort of feel that this is saying, once again, it's sort of about mounting a strategy that you may start initially feeling like, you're going to expand slowly from where you are now, testing the boundaries of your budget or your lifestyle. But you may feel like, no, some unexpected things are going to happen. That's another thing about the whip too. It sort of is unexpected. And so then maybe you'll say, okay, I forgot I was going to still have to deal with this, or I didn't realize I was going to have to deal with this. And it may be some other kind of bill or situation that you're just going to have to put into, your itinerary of expenses. But I do feel more hopeful here than not. I'm going to say that it just feels like, you're going to have to learn where you're at in all this process and hold on to it. I don't see anything that challenges the job necessarily.
So this card would not go back in the deck, and I thought I should pull it for you, and it was the High Priestess upright. Oh. So I think in all that you do here going forward, trust your gut and your intuition to guide you in how to manage, your finances and your resources. Other people around you, like these guys, they may have ideas that may not be work for you. I think what it's saying here, inside what you have to do. And so follow your gut. Follow your gut instincts on that. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. And thanks, Libra. I hope you have a good week too.
Yep. Oh, you're welcome, Libra. Hey, you know what? I was so glad it was good news. I'd hate to have to tell you the cat was going to be unhappy there, but those cards, they
were really nice, I think.
They were really, really nice. So I hope it's true. I hope she has a great life there. All right.
All right, and we are getting close to the end of the list, but we still got a few more to do.
We've still got a few more to do.
So we are up with Viddy.
And we are, 15 minutes away or less. Oh boy. But we will go into overtime.
We're not going anywhere.
We ain't going anywhere, that's right. All right, Viddy is up, and did they post?
What
I think they
message does my higher self have for me in the area of love and career?
Oh, love and career. So how do we want to do that?
We could do 2 and 2.
We're going to have to do 2 and 2 on that.
Or
And we'll
is
do it
your
as the
deck,
higher
or
self.
was it mine? Or is your...
I just used the cat deck.
So it's going to be mine.
it's yours.
Okay, so I'm going to use the Mermaid's Tarot. That could hopefully cover both of those.
And the first 2 cards will be love, and the second 2 will be career, right?
Yes. Well, don't I do love, career, love, career?
Right. Right. But what
The
I
first
like to
2
do
cards-
is just lay them out in front of you, and let's do one at a time. Okay. Can we do that?
I'm still confused.
Here's what I'm talking about, but I'll do it in a minute. Okay, love, career.
Okay. I get it now. It was the misleading way you said it before, but we're not going to talk about that.
I'm misleading?
You said 2 at a time, and that was in direct response
The
to
2
love and career. 2 at a time. 2 at a time. That's how I interpreted it. You didn't clarify anything.
All right, let's throw out those love cards. What do you got? Ooh.
Judgment
Oh.
and the 9 of Wands.
Oh, that's interesting. And
Lady in red.
Wow.
Okay, it's a deer in red, but it's a female deer in red.
with the crossroads and judgment, that's really interesting. Well, this is an interesting reading from Spirit about love. This
Yeah,
is
especially
Viddy,
because
right?
of judgment.
Yeah. Viddy, this is really interesting. You know, in situations with love, Spirit wants to remind you that you should try not to judge people in advance. You know, sometimes the 9 of Wands talks about preparation here. And so you may have in mind what the perfect love relationship will be or who it is you want. And, you know, you're preparing to meet Mr. or Ms. Right. And I think here there's a conflict going on here in being too prepared and being judgmental. You need to maybe give people a chance. You can't prepare for what happens in love sometimes. I mean, number one, you may meet somebody and your initial impression of them, you know, maybe it's at an event or you see them more often at something, school or at work, and you think, oh man, that person just really rubs me the wrong way, you know, and you get really judgy about it. But as you get to know them, you may find that they're really perfect. They're really what you had been looking for all along. And so I think here, as you're making your choices about the perfect partner, I'm going to throw the Lenormand out there too, is try not to judge too much in advance. Give people more of a chance.
I love that, and I think that's why I'm going to start actually with the Lenormand and say that crossroads suggests that this is that point, you know, where Spirit is telling you that maybe you yourself are not supposed to be so judgmental, or that you need to see people with more spiritual eyes in a way too, or see them through their own spiritual progress in a way too. And that's why the 9 of Wands is there too, I think, because this is saying you gather strength from knowing that you find people who are kindred in a way, people who have the same sense of being prepared for what is coming, you know, in this sense of maybe a more fulfilling view of love.
Now, I want to add something else because I think it's important. When I see judgment and the 9 of Wands together, I'm also thinking what it's saying here is Spirit is saying prepare yourself for a major, you know, big transformation to occur, or to maybe even recreate or redefine, you know, how you approach, you know, relationships going forward. And so that kind of fits into what I was saying too, is don't judge in advance. let things flow and happen. Things are going to happen, but you have to be a little bit more open to, possible, what do I want to say here? Out of the box things happening, things coming to you in maybe an unorthodox way.
All right.
All right.
So now we're going to look at
Career.
what Spirit wants you to know about career. And our first one is the Ten of Swords reverse.
Wow.
Which I think is very important. And the other one is the Five of Cups reversed.
Like that.
Yeah.
But let's see what it's paired with. Look what's back.
The bouquet is back.
Oh.
And so is the whip.
Okay.
They seem to be chasing each other through our readings here.
Pleasure
one way or the other.
and pain. That looks like what the Lenormand says, which is kind of interesting here. Let's talk about this. So it's almost as if Spirit is saying some of the betrayals or disappointments or difficulties you may have had, Vidi, in career in the past, are starting, have prepared you for, the future. That Spirit says you've needed to go through this, and that, it doesn't define you. They don't define you, but what it did do was prepare you to face new opportunities with a better attitude, with a wiser attitude. You maybe know what you want out of life now and what you won't accept anymore. Okay? And that's what I think also the message is down here a little bit too. That some of the harsh realities that you may have experienced along the way of trying to find your perfect niche career-wise is preparing you for the joy that is to come, for the gifts that are to come. I think there will be new opportunities for you to grow and advance, but you've had to go through some struggles, and maybe you still have a few yet to go through in order to get there.
Well, we appreciate what the struggles in your career were. We understand that, in the fashion industry and things like that. The Ten of Swords reversed, to me, would speak to the idea that Spirit wants you to know that if there were obstacles based on people or situations that were contrary to you, that were actually working against you, trying to be overly competitive or trying to actually, deny your role in the process or negate where you fit in, that's going to change. Spirit says that maybe you're going to move beyond that, whether there's any kind of justice there or not, it's hard to say, but you're sort of are moving beyond that. You're surviving that situation where maybe there was backbiting or indifference to you. And the Five of Cups reversed also says, Spirit says, you're getting over that. You're sort of feeling like those are things that no longer seem to bother you. You don't see them for what they once were, which were limiting to you or, filling you with some sort of sense of hopelessness. So I can also agree with what Banshee said about the Lenormand, that now will come a time maybe where you'll realize that the swift changes that have happened are really moving you closer towards something beneficial and gracious for you.
So another thing with the Lenormand is that maybe that whip and the whip can be a very harsh card, and so I could say it's robbing you. Some of these experiences have robbed some of the joy out of, pursuing your career aims. But also I would say here it could be a call to aggressively pursue what brings you joy, what brings you happiness and what makes you feel fulfilled. And that's what we have for you from Spirit in both those areas. Good luck with that.
All righty. And we're on Melinda.
Yep, we are on Mandy. Hi, Mandy.
Mandy, our friend.
Financial outlook. How can I best improve things? Okay. Advice. Let's see. Oh, we haven't used you yet. Let's try you. There you go.
Aw, thank you, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
I was thinking about you most of the afternoon. It almost felt like you were here. I know, it's goofy, right?
All right.
Yeah, we are literally at the show's ending, and we still got some readings to do.
We've
But
still
thank
got
you for
some
watching.
to do. We've only got 3 after Mandy, so
Appreciate that.
we're in a good spot. All right. All right, that's not the same as what happened last time. The 2 of Earth. Uh-oh. The 2 of Pentacles is reversed. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead and pull those. I'll take a minute. 2 of Pentacles is reversed. That's our start. So that speaks about how to best improve things. We'll talk about that. Oh, my. Okay. You got the Tower upright. Drat. And the 4 of Sky upright. Well,
So in Lenormand, there's a ship. And you, the lady.
it's really interesting to me. Clearly, I feel here, as far as improving your financial situation goes, is that your health is a factor, right? The 4 of Swords here, your health is a factor. I mean, we know what's going on with you. You know what's going on with us now. And I think here that, you have to make sure that whatever you do, you are able to rest your body. You're able to give your body and your mind, your spirit, all parts of you, the support it needs in order to be able to pursue your financial goals. And see, that does seem to be the stumbling block to me. I almost want to put that Tower together with that 4 of Swords to say that, it's kind of like, let's look at Mr. O's situation here. You've heard a little bit about that now, I'm sure, through social media and our friends. And so the thing is that we never know when that Tower is going to strike health-wise, right? It can, he went from an ear infection to a stroke, right? A diagnosis. So we never know when something is going to throw us off our game all of a sudden. And we have to be prepared for that. We have to be prepared to take care of ourselves. And it's going to be hard for you to kind of find that balance for a while, It's going to be, that is the key, though. You have to find something that is going to be flexible enough for you so that you can, you won't have so much chaos in your life. So whether this means working for yourself or whether this, maybe finding some extra income some way, doing something for yourself, or whether that is finding a very flexible work at home kind of environment for you that will provide what you need. I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, the cards are not especially definitive, Mandy, but I think the Tower there suggests that some of the things that don't work out.
I'm sorry, SP, our list is closed.
Yeah, we have closed the list.
Yeah,
SP.
we're into
Sorry.
overtime now, so we can't take you.
I feel the Tower is saying it's especially mindful that you try not to repeat what other things have not worked out for you. So if these were particular jobs that had particular situations, maybe you want to avoid those in a way. That's still not very definitive in my sense. I'm looking at that ship down there and almost feeling like this says that maybe you have to really move to another concept entirely in terms of work. Not necessarily move to another market, but that maybe it's kind of what she said. It's really figuring out how you can think out of the box here. And I like the fact that I think the 4 Swords maybe suggest, because of, either the health situations or whatever, that figuring out how to focus on remote work where you're not there in a workplace, because I think the 4 Swords could talk to situations like that. are what you need to do to try to find something that really suits your fancy. And of course, you may not necessarily have the luxury of either waiting or being able to have a strong pull of those possibilities for you.
The other thing here is I'm hopeful that this is saying you will learn to ride those waves. You will find a way to ride those waves and move towards something. But also, I can't deny, I gotta say here that might be the key for you too. You have to find a way to navigate between your physical needs and your financial needs. You're gonna have to find a way to ride those waves. And there's always that tower looming in the background. But the good news is with the tower upright, it is saying that, you're learning as you go. With every time this happens to you, there's another lesson you're taking in. And it's maybe steering you towards something that you're going to have to do. And whether it is working from home like we suggest, where you can maybe get, a little bit more flexibility with your time, or finding a job that is more flexible with your time. Like maybe if you have the energy and the drive and the motivation, I don't want to say motivation, you have the energy, that's really the most important thing, to work a 4-day week or a 3-day week, maybe that's the way to go. If you can put all your energy there and have more downtime, if there's jobs that have that kind of flex work hours environment, that would be another option maybe for you too.
I think I inferred with the tower that, it was important to not, repeat yourself with mistakes. But I think a better way of looking at the tower is saying this is a process where you can learn from it. And of course, that doesn't mean you're going to learn right away, that you still may have to break a few eggs, to get there. But this is saying pay attention perhaps to all of these things and look for the lesson within that either says you have to find a different way to earn a living, remotely or something like that.
So
I see
really
you guys talking about ginger tea over there.
So I wish you luck with this. That's the best we can give you with these cards. But I'm hopeful, a little bit hopeful with the Lenormand that maybe you're going to find a way to ride these waves.
And the Four of Swords says maybe now is the time to focus on the physical needs, on the rest or the recovery. There's nothing here that looks like a super catastrophe. We're all pretty jaded with the tower. Everybody gets the tower all the time now.
Well, I don't know if that's true. That's the first time it came up today, for example. But
if I can think of anything like that, I will certainly let you know too.
Yeah. It's tough because a lot of places are making people return to work now. But there's still some places that may have flexible environments, flexible scheduling, if not the work at home. But I also think too there are still jobs out there that do that. How you find them, well, I'm not sure. You just got to keep hunting, using your resources, and trying to find them.
It may not be the income level you want or desire or need, but I always try to recommend library jobs in the public library because they are
quieter.
They are quieter.
They
have usually a much nicer staff, people, and of course they're part-time, but they're more flexible. I've known people who have worked 2 part-time jobs in 2 different libraries. But like I said, the income may not be what you're looking for. But if you want, I can, send you an email on the side or chat with you more about that. Yeah, I always recommend them because I just think they're more holistic. People are nicer. And having said that, I've recently heard of a couple libraries where the staff are not so nice. But you would be a nice staff person, I think.
Silly. Work environments are work environments. Libraries are no different from anywhere else in some ways. And of course you have the public demands too. Some of that can be pressure. There's no doubt about that. But it is a quieter environment overall.
And we could be personal references if we get to the point of needing those.
All right, that's what we have for you. Good luck with that.
All right. Good luck. So now we are on...
Harry.
Ari.
And Ari wanted to know about what they need to know about their love life right now. I believe that was it. Yep, I just got back to it. Okay. You're welcome, Mandy.
You are welcome, yes.
Good luck with that. I want my cards, please.
Oh, yes. Oh, what happened? Oh, nothing happened. Sorry.
What happened is we're losing it at the end of the show.
We're losing it.
All right, so we are on Aries the Aries. I was about to post that. There we go. Oh, I did already. Whoops. I'm ahead of myself. All right, and Marita, yeah, you'll be right after Aries. So let's take a look at that. Your deck, Mr. O. What does she need to know about her love life right now? Yeah, I don't know. They may have mostly library. I was there recently. I don't remember how many non-library degree positions they had, but they post them all.
They fluctuate over time. They really have new offerings all the time.
And some libraries don't even post there. You could just go into your public library. You could go to regular public library websites, and in their About Us sections, a lot of times they will have jobs, careers that are available, so there's that too. Some places are better at that than others.
All right. So what's that question again?
What do I need to know about my love life right now?
All right. Okie dokie.
Uh-oh. Don't want those to fall.
So it's just 3 cards, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, 9 of Swords. The reversed Page of Pentacles, called the Princess of Pentacles here. And the reversed 10 of Cups. Well, I'm going to say 9 of Swords says anxiety. You have a lot of anxiety about your love life. It may be that it's just really consuming you, and that, you wake in the night wondering, when it's going to happen.
Or you're anxious about the type of people you keep meeting that are just...
Total anxiety.
Yeah. So your feelings are valid.
Of course.
I think your fears here are valid. Go ahead.
I'm going to flip over here, though, to the 10 of Cups reversed. And it could just be more on your inner side there, too. But it does reflect the idea that maybe you feel unhappy, or you feel that even to some degree unconditional or more supportive aspects of family aren't available to you, or you don't feel as appreciated as you want, or you don't feel a loving connection.
Can I flip in there too?
Sure.
You may feel unfulfilled right now in the love department. And it seems as though, because you're asking, what do you need to know right now? That's where things stand right now. I think you feel unfulfilled in the love department, like nothing is happening. The 9 of Swords there is saying, and it's starting to make you feel anxious, right? And with the Princess of Pentacles in the middle there reversed, it's indicating again there just seems to be delay and no progress here, no forward movement here. And it's getting to the point now of feeling like you're almost feeling, I don't want to say you're non-motivated about it, because you obviously, it's a concern of yours, it's causing you anxiety, but it does kind of bring you down. It's bringing you down that nothing is happening.
Well, another way of looking at the Page or Princess of Pentacles reversed is saying this idea that you feel there's a message you're not getting for some reason. You feel like your instincts are not going to where you think they could serve you. This is that one card in the Pentacle Courts that I sort of feel has a little bit of an intuitive feel about it, and it's maybe a sense of being able to also philosophize and rationalize about your life. It's sort of a person who wants to understand their life. This is saying you don't understand that, and it maybe is depressing you, or you just don't feel like there's an answer to your question.
Well, this might change things a little bit, but it depends. It might not. And you're going to laugh at one of the things I'm going to say, Ari, but anyway.
Fox. The foxy fox on the run. Uh-oh.
I think you need to get that job, Ari.
It's a gentleman.
You're going to meet a man, you're going to meet a lover on the job. You're going to meet someone working.
Yeah, I think that's what that could mean.
Failing that, I would say this. It's possible here because we were showing you, first off, as far as the reading goes, it may say here, you may be finding some guys that you are really, really attracted to physically that might hit all those bells and whistles, but they've been letting you down in other ways here, right? That's what that looks like to me. But I kind of look at the Lenormand as something that might be coming your way, that maybe this is possible here, that you are going to meet somebody that's you're going to be highly physically attracted to. Where that leads, I'm not sure. But I do think there might be somebody coming into the picture in I could gather the next month, maybe by the end of this month or sometime in April, Ari, your birthday season. So, hang on. It's possible.
So what you need to know right now is it's normal for you to feel this sense of anxiety and like things aren't fulfilling for you, but hang in there because maybe it's going to change soon.
It might change. It might change.
We're wishing you luck.
Good luck with that. I laughed when I saw that, though, because the fox is about a sexy, attractive person.
Yep.
One of the interpretations. It can be about a lot of other things. It could be about the workplace. And that's why I thought about you looking for work. I'm like, get a job. The man is waiting for you there. Anyway.
Well, we hope you get fulfillment.
Good luck with that, Ari.
Good luck.
And we have made it to Marita finally.
Hi, Marita.
Will I get a stable job soon? Okay. That's a good question. Let me just pull out. I haven't used this deck, the Her Story, which is a tarot based on women's history.
Well, technically, you're still waiting on the interview thing, too, aren't you?
Oh, are you still waiting on the interview, or did they already decide?
I think you said that a couple of days ago on Thursday, maybe?
Right. It's been a while now already, though, right? You had the interview at the end of February.
Yeah, it's been over a week since that interview.
Yeah. Well, some people don't always respond right away.
So true. And you're welcome, Mandy. Hope you guys had fun at Delish the other night. We were at the tax preparer's office, and I had already had plans to do something later, so we'll see you next time, maybe.
I wanted to go, but my car is having issues right now. I'm taking it in Monday, so I'm hoping to be more mobile by then. Okay.
Oh, okay. Issues with form, so it's a bit disappointing. Well, I hope you can work through that.
Ah, so it's a bit disappointing. Well, I hope you can get through it. Well, the Magician is upright. That's a good sign. The Two of Pentacles is upright. Yet another good sign. The High Priestess is reversed. That's okay. It's okay. Let's see what you have, Mr. O.
Okay. The Ship was our first one.
Ah.
And the Whip is the second one.
Okay. Well, I think it's possible to manifest a job, to get hired. So whether it's that job you're having problems with the paperwork with or something else, I think that it could very well happen for you. It seems to me you have what you need to succeed. It's just finding that niche. And so if you keep working at it, you'll get there. So if it's a matter of trying to get through the red tape, the problems on the job that you think you've got, you'll get there. I think the Two of Pentacles, I'll stop after the Two of Pentacles. I think the Two of Pentacles is indicating here things are going to start stabilizing for you. And that to me means that maybe you will find employment and that your economic, your work life, your home life, everything is going to start to fall more into place and into a routine. This could also mean that maybe you will be able to get through the hassles that you're going through right now with the paperwork.
Right. The Magician is a can-do attitude, and it's about willpower, creativity, and other things. So I think this is saying that either for the stable job you wish for or the one that you seem to have, you will be able to get through that, I think. I think this is saying, being a little bit more willpower oriented, just try to stick with the task. It's kind of interesting that the High Priestess is on the other end because to some degree, she's sort of like their female opposite, but I'll get to that in a minute. The Two of Pentacles really does sound like some stability here, and it does ring more towards the financial sector, so I think that's good.
Career and finance, yeah.
And I'll let you pick it up then.
Well, the High Priestess reverse to me is indicating that, you know what, you may feel a little bit of uncertainty and confusion right now. And so sometimes your emotions can cloud your judgment. Try to get everything in balance and use your head. Use your head over your heart. Use your head over your gut. This is a time to think things through. If there's something confusing you about the paperwork or difficult to navigate, try to figure out a way to get to the bottom of it. Try to get some help if you need it, if you're really confused. I think here, this is a matter of using head and not allowing your emotions to cloud your judgment right now.
I like what you said there, Marita, and I do feel that, what Banshee says is equally important, that, the High Priestess reverse could be saying to, calm down and not expect an answer to be mystical or just sort of appear, that you may have to really pull yourself into your head at a more sedate level and calmly try to work through that, especially if it's about the paperwork job question.
Right. Analyze things. Be more analytical than just trusting your own gut feelings. I think that's important at this time. And I think here you ought to get ready for some swift movement here. Maybe things will unblock for you. Something positive might come out of this, or also if you want to move things forward, this might be saying you're going to have to take some aggressive action here. You're going to have to, move forward. In order to get things moving in the direction that you want, it's up to you to make some quick moves to make it happen.
I think that's exactly right, Marita. I think that the whip and the ship are symbolic of that. That basically you may find that this presents as an opportunity to move quickly to this opportunity. So, for example, maybe even though you're dealing with getting acquainted in this position, maybe another opportunity shows up and you could actually, move towards that. It's not impossible. When the economy was not particularly good about 30 some years ago, well, nearly 40 actually, I managed to go through a whirlwind of 3 to 4 jobs within about 5 weeks. Each of the opportunities just finally came through and I said, okay, I'll take that. And then it really didn't work out, but within 1 to 2 weeks, another one, and I took that. That may not be exactly how it'll work for you, but this is saying maybe be aware that some opportunities could arise and your best course is to be ready to quickly approach them. Good luck.
So good luck with that.
Thanks for coming again.
All right, and we are on our last reading, which is Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Finally made it to you.
We finally made it to you. Thanks for waiting. I'm going to look and see if you left us the question already, because I don't actually remember.
There it is.
What do you got? Oh, it just came up?
Yep.
All right, thanks, Emily.
Regarding love. Okay.
All right.
And you?
That's my deck, right?
Yep.
So it looks like it's going to be the mermaids again. Well, I could do Barbieri again.
Whatever.
They both have romantic or sensual tones to them. That's a card. What is the energy around me and or coming toward me at this time? All right. That's just a straight 3 cards. Barb? Barb?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I think so. I know, I go back and forth on my reading sometimes
It's okay.
with that.
You all right?
Now I have a little headache. I'm okay though. It's not something I haven't had before.
All right, our first card is the 4 of Wands. Hubba hubba.
Whoa.
Home is where the heart is, and maybe other things as well.
What the heck?
Okay, the next card, dang, it's another 4, and it's also upright. It's the 4 of Swords. Well, they look like a pair, maybe.
Yeah,
I
double
don't know.
4s, but I don't know. That's interesting, and that's upright.
And then the final card is the Queen of Cups, and she too is upright. So I think this is interesting. There may be a story there. Oh, there's the lady. Lady in red. Okay, never mind. And the moon, which is nice in Lenormand for romance. So there's some definite vectors here towards, possible romances. There's also a vector that maybe is iffy, but let's look at it.
I'm kind of glad we went without doing my reading, because I think this works better. And I want to start with the middle card, actually.
Okay, the 4 of Swords.
I don't know, Emily, if you feel like nothing's been moving forward in your love life right now, or if there's been a breakup or some kind of pause, in a relationship, because sometimes the 4 of Swords here indicates a need for healing. Maybe it's a need for healing from some past baggage too that needs to be done here as far as love goes. And you want to know what energy is around you or coming towards you. I think this is the key right now that's around you, this need for healing, or this idea that something just isn't really going right in a relationship. Something is ill. Or it could just mean there's a pause right now. You're in between things and you're really looking for love again. And I think here with the 4 of Wands, you could make a connection. You could build a foundation. You could find a stable, secure relationship, or create one for yourself. Or if a relationship has been troubled, I think that, maybe there could be a way to build it back, I just sort of feel that here. And go ahead.
Well, I like starting with that too, and I feel like although its main ideas are about, self-care, rest, pausing, there's also an aspect of protectiveness there too, sort of being guarded. And this could be saying that as well, is that you are feeling an energy of caution, like the energy coming towards you is saying, be cautious as you reach out again, as you come back to life. The 4 of Swords reversed. It's not that, but I'm just saying that. And I like what Banshee said about the 4 of Wands too, and I like the 2 4s, because 4s are about formation or about solidity of a sort. So this may be saying really that feeling more, protective about yourself or cautious about yourself enables you to make a better, holistic kind of choice with the 4 of Wands. The idea being, who you can build with or who feels comfortable for you.
And I didn't do that Queen of Cups.
Yet.
I feel here that the Queen of Cups is saying, you have to look out for what's right for you love-wise. You have to protect your heart. You have to also but at the same time, you have to be willing to open your heart and not allow any past hurts or pain, affect you. So if this is about healing from a past relationship and moving on, that's what's necessary here. You have to be able to open your heart again and not close it off because of what you've experienced in the past. And if this is about healing a present relationship, You have to be open-hearted and kind and try to be willing, to go that route, but also only do it if it's really right for you. If you've been really burned by someone and you let them back in just without any kind of agreement here that things are going to get better, then, good luck.
But I
But I don't
think it's
see that.
I don't think it's that either.
No.
I think these cards mostly talk about maybe the keys or the steps moving you towards the queen, who basically is the master of her emotions, who has the time and the ability to spend with people to understand their emotions, especially if they're trying to make connections with each other. So I think ultimately you're moving from, a sense of renewing your comfort and recovering yourself, but being mindful of caution to become that. And I sort of think the queen kind of relates to the lady over here in a way, the master of her emotions. And maybe the moon coming there is saying that, love will eventually come to you. I'm not sure when, but it will.
Well, I have a feeling here love will find a way, right? It's my favorite Yes song, one of them. Love will find a way if you want it to. I think here, because the moon is about success, it could be in employment, but also in romance in the Lenormand. And so I think here it's saying here that, open up and be receptive. Love is going to find a way in if you allow it to. And so good luck with that.
And if these are not energies you feel, the sense of caution or pause, then those are things you want to try to embrace or feel more.
So yeah, I just feel things are going to shift and change for the better, and a lot of it has to do with that Lenormand, but it also has to do with the Queen of Cups, I think, too, and that Four of Wands. It seems to me that you are going to be able to find some stability in your love life one way or another here. That energy is there, and if that's what you're really working towards, you have a good chance of achieving it. Just don't allow any past hurts or things that went south on you affect you in your present pursuits. Good luck with that.
All right. So that's our show.
All right, that's our show. We're done. And it's a half hour late. But
you're worth it.
It's all good.
You're all worth it.
All good. We had some nice readings today.
We did have
some
readings.
Interesting readings today. And we really enjoy what we do, obviously. And so I just want to remind everybody to stop back into our shows this week, our video presentations, and wishing you good fortune in your week ahead. Good luck with the upcoming Mercury retrograde, and stop in on our Thursday show if you want a little bit more questions answered. Hopefully, we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.